The stage is set for a journey of ambition and determination on the big spark.
Let's go!
24 startups from all over Southeast Asia were put to the test in round one, the quick pitch. All the best.
It's a yes from all three of us. Congratulations.
15 startups have now risen above the rest to enter the second stage, the in-depth pitch.
Hi, judges.
The stage is yours.
Startups will have their business plans and financials come under heavy scrutiny at this stage of the competition.
On what basis do you decide how much money and who to give money?
Can we go to the numbers?
I don't have any number slides.
And only 4 to 8 will proceed to the finale.
We've got our work cut out for us.
To get that share of seed funding worth up to $1 million, startups will have to impress our 8 venture capitalists. Murali Ravi, John Sharp, Vanessa Ho, UC Salovara, Niraj Tyagi, Visa Khanna, Anuj Golecha, and Sebastian Togalam. Optionally, funds can be paid in USDC, a US dollar equivalent issued by Circle, which arrives in wallets within seconds. Last week, 6 startups had to endure the challenging evaluation as they presented their in-depth pitches. Which of these final 4 startups will survive the Stage 2 scrutiny today? Snap Robotics, Goro, ArkoPay, Cellivate Technologies, and we will reveal who makes the list for the final big pitch.
Moments away from my in-depth pitch, I'm feeling a bit more confident compared to what it was last time. Introducing the world's most economical robotic hand. It is compatible with any robotic arm. We can just buy the robotic arm and plug it. It will work with it.
I felt that your presentation is a little heavy and cluttered. You could do a lot more with doing a demo for us. You're going into the shortlist for the next round of deliberation. Congratulations.
Thank you, judges. I made my pitch a bit less technical because this is more like a presentation to the investors, so it needs to be more business-oriented.
Wow, you're looking very smart today.
We are very early stage, but we have a very potential technology. I have added some numbers, and hopefully it will appeal to the judges.
The judges like numbers. All the best to you. This way, please.
Thank you. I feel confident that I will be able to convince the judges that we are worthy of going to the finale. Hi, judges.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're all really looking forward to your presentation. So you've met Rhonda from Ohmyhome.
Thank you for your masterclass.
You're welcome. Our core mission at Ohmyhome is to be the most trusted and comprehensive property solution for everyone.
We also have 2 additional guest judges with us today. We have Mr. Ricky Kapur from Zoom.
Hey, nice to meet you. Zoom is an all-in-one intelligent collaboration platform that makes connecting easier, more immersive and dynamic, in a cost-effective way for businesses and individuals.
And we have Mr. Raagulan Pathy from Circle.
Circle's trying to build the largest and most widely available stablecoin network in the world.
You've got 10 minutes for your presentation today, but we will be interrupting you while you're presenting.
Yes, sure.
Your time starts now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sai Krishna, and I'm the co-founder of Snap Robotics. I'm sure you are familiar with the problem of acute shortage of labor. Now, this will soon compel all the companies and industries to completely automate their setups. However, the problem with the currently existing automation solutions makes it impossible for the SMEs to adopt to these brute force automation technologies. Snap Robotics is here, introducing the world's most economical robotic hand. It is made from soft materials, thus it can conform to the shape of the item being handled. We have these independent features which helps them to change the modality of the gripper. You can just check these specimens. So for soft items, it doesn't damage that. That's why it's perfectly meant for food items and also other delicate items.
Are you sure that there are no similar solutions out there?
90% of the soft gripper companies are based on pressurized air actuation. But if there is a slight rupture, it cannot be used anymore. Our solution is based on vacuum. That's what makes it more durable.
How much does your gripper typically cost?
The gripper costs, like the materials and all the fabrication costs, it's around $200. But the arm plus the gripper plus the entire solution would be $30,000. Based on the competitor analysis, we would be offering the gripper at a price point of $1,500 and the entire solution at $100,000.
How do you plan to connect with the ecosystem?
Our go-to-market strategy, on one hand, would be to partner with the manipulator companies, but the other aspect is definitely to approach the food SMEs directly.
And the key problem statements that your customers are facing today, what are most of them looking at today?
What is the challenge?
Yeah.
So the challenge is to find affordable grasping automation solution. Like the average food SME we talk about, which is handling multiple bakery items. So they are under the impression that there isn't any minimalistic solution that can solve all of them.
What kind of cost savings are we talking about?
To put it in very simple terms, like only one gripper does the function of 4 or 5 grippers. So that's like straight away 75% cost savings from the end effector point of view. But there are some other indirect costs. For example, if they are planning to use only one robotic arm, they would have to use a lot of tool changers in order to keep changing this robotic gripper.
Could you move to your financial model?
Like financial model, like business?
So like forecasted revenue.
Oh, yeah. So our ask today is for 500,000 SGD for a 10% stake in our company, which will primarily be used to execute at least 5 pilots in the coming next 18 months, which will help us to get a potential revenue of 3 million SGD in the first year of operation. There are 2 segments. One is to provide the automation solution and one is with the direct gripper sales.
Do you have the slide about your team?
Our interdisciplinary team consists of researchers. Me and Prof. Pablo, we are the primary co-founders of this product. We have initially started with food handling. However, our solution is so versatile that it's relevant to other industries. We already have 4 pilots in pipeline, which definitely will give us a kickstart to validate our product market fit as well as our business model.
How much are you valuing the company?
We are evaluating our company at 5 million SGD valuation.
Think one step beyond. How can you help the robotics manufacturer make more money or drive better customer satisfaction? Because that helps them work with you to grow their business.
Sure, I'll keep that in mind and work on it.
All right, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Best wishes.
Hey, the pitch is done.
I think I have done enough to put me in the finale, especially because I was able to convey all the information that I had planned for.
Remember, only 4 to 8 startups will make it to the final big pitch. I hope that you can make it.
Thank you, Diana.
All the best.
This is a good solution, versatile.
Especially in many countries, we're constrained for labor, so the solution is relevant.
What I really like is the gross margins. He can be very, very competitive.
But he will still need to build the right sales infrastructure. There's a little bit of work to be done.
My biggest worry is if they can attract the right team to commercialize this and scale it before someone else catches them.
New entrepreneurs have to accept that failure will be a part of the game.
I think we can learn a lot more from failure than we can from success.
Show me one founder who hasn't failed at least once, if not more. Your only real failure would be if you didn't learn from it.
Be very honest with ourselves what will cause the failure, learn from that, move on, and do better the second time around.
The courage to try again and again and again, and don't give up.
Who's the winner? Because from Indonesia.
Yeah, that's true. We've prepared a lot yesterday. Get all the questions solved and nail it.
Yeah.
We're aiming for $500,000. Getting this capital would be so great for us to excel our business and grow ArkoPay. During the quick pitch, we got some feedbacks from the judges. Hello, everyone. We're from ArkoPay, a one-stop financial solution for small and medium-sized construction businesses.
I would want to dig deeper into how you get your funds and also on the risk management part. So for me, would love to shortlist you guys.
I would love to shortlist you too.
I too would like to shortlist you for further deliberations. So well done, ladies. What happens when it comes to non-performing loans? How many NPLs do you have?
None.
So add that into your presentation. Because usually as an investor, one of the biggest concerns I would have is about non-performing loans.
We took all of this consideration and put this into our in-depth pitch. Definitely less nervous than before, but still. We hope the judges will be more clearer and understand after this pitch.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Asri.
We're from Indonesia, and our company name is ArkoPay. 81% of contractors are not getting paid on time. This significantly affects the cash flow for the whole construction value chain, create challenges in purchasing materials, paying their workers, and even lead to delay in project completion. The accessibility to more capital from financial institutions with huge collateral requirement create even more challenges for these businesses, particularly to small construction businesses. So we are the first platform in Indonesia who provide a holistic financial tool and a closed-loop financing for construction value chain. So they can select which financing options that are suitable for them and purchase materials at affordable price. We help them also in connecting with the suppliers within our networks so that they can get their materials on time at affordable price and they can pay installment to us.
How did you come up with this idea? We heard you have family in the construction business.
Yeah, my dad, he's a contractor for over 2 decades. Up until now, we become a developer in building hotels, hospitals, and residentials. I know the real pain point of just getting capital access. And after meeting Mbak Asri here, I think there will be a great combination to help this industry itself. So our revenue business model is pretty simple. We charge admin fee, which is range from 0.5 to 3% per application. And then for service fee is 1.5 to 5% per month.
And this is for the risk mitigation process. Actually, I put it until 4 different processes. It's in the beginning is legal due diligence, and then credit risk assessment. The third is collection strategy, and the last one is diversification of the portfolio. So there is no risk concentration in one portfolio.
What is the effective interest rate then? 1.5 to 5% per month. That is actually quite hefty.
So the loan tenor is usually only 1 to 2 months on average, and we have no collateral for this. So the service fee is based on the risk assessment. The riskier they are, obviously, the higher the interest that we charge. And then after they do a repeat loan with us, then they're able to capture a lower interest rate up until 1.5%.
But your 1.5% is per month, right?
Correct. Correct. Yeah. And it's pretty competitive compared to the other competitors in Indonesia.
It might be competitive against banks, but what about the other small players like Modalku, Coinworks, etc.?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same with the other P2P. Yeah.
And if a contractor defaults on the payment, who's at risk? Is it ArkoPay? Is it the bank?
The ArkoPay.
It'll be yourselves.
Yeah, that's why we perform our risk assessment due diligently.
You really need to think about how you can offload the risk of your loan portfolio to someone. One economic event could bring down the whole business. So you need to manage against that very, very clear risk. But first, I'd love to hear about how you plan to scale this to get it to a point where it can actually work.
We're trying to launch payroll financing for different industry with a higher margin on there. We also want to do inventory financing where we can take collateral of their inventory with potentially to monetize on that too. And last but not least, the insurance, of course, for our end user. In terms of the scalability, one of our features that we have been designing is build now, pay later to attract other users, and then also virtual card and wallet that we can also monetize on that.
Can we look at your financials, please? Financials, projections?
Use belakang.
Sure.
How much are you looking to raise, and how many % of equity are you willing to give up?
500,000 in exchange of 15% of equity.
You've talked a little bit about wanting to scale.
What's the strategy for that?
We have a lot of offline and online community for suppliers and contractors. We also partner up with online marketplace, both in building materials marketplace and also construction services marketplace, so we can capture their end user right away. From our network of suppliers, we're capturing their users as well and their vendors.
One last point on your business model. Do think about how you compare to other capital stacks out there. I might be better off borrowing from credit cards. Why do I come to you? If I come to you, means that my credit rating is so bad that I've got no choice, and your NPL will not be 5%. Then again, it goes to loop into the effective interest rate you want to charge, and it becomes a vicious cycle.
Thank you so much for showing us your business. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All smiles, do you think you've nailed it?
I don't know. We were stuck on a lot of points.
Actually, it's not stuck because it is quite a different definition and understanding from the judge and us.
I can answer the last question. I do wish we have more time to explain the last questions that Wai Mun asked.
We didn't get the time to go into the platform. If they've got a real roadmap, I'd love to look at the platform in more detail.
We went through 5 slides so far, and then the rest just multiple questions bombarded to us. We have so many things we want to say that didn't come across.
I'm still not convinced by the interest rate that they are charging. One of the biggest risks is that there is no collaterals.
Yes. Collateral loans are scary.
Yeah, you can blacklist me, whatever, but...
Or just go to the next company.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But there are a few things I liked. Her family's in the business, so she's got, I'm assuming there's connections in there. Those could be important in Indonesia.
But that could be good and bad.
They could be good and bad, you're right.
I hope they are satisfied with our answers. Hopefully make it to the grand finale.
Yes.
But we'll see how it goes.
How did it go?
They asked a lot of questions. Just be prepared for answering every one of them.
Yeah. Were you able to go through the whole deck, or?
No, not at all. You'll do great. All the best and good luck.
Thank you. I'm definitely feeling nervous. At the same time, excited. I look forward to meeting the judges again to discuss Goro in more detail. We allow anyone to invest into high-yielding Indonesian property from just $1. As a startup, you have to start small.
What does it really take for you to scale from your 20,000 users, let's say, to the 200,000 users?
I really like the fact that you're looking at Indonesia, and both at Bali and Jakarta, as that attracts very different types of investors. So it's a yes for me.
It's a yes for me too.
It's going to be a yes for me as well. Now, scalability. That's always an issue in your space, I think. How do you repeat that success? We need to proactively answer the question on how you can scale out your business.
We require additional funding to keep growing the company. And hopefully the judges will see the potential of the business model and let me go through to the final.
Go in there and impress the judges.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All the best.
We all know that generational wealth has been created from investing in property. But what is it that makes property so popular? Well, it's tangible, it appreciates in value over time, it provides passive cash flow, and it's easy to understand. Let's take this property. It consistently delivers more than 10% net rental yield per year. It also costs a whopping $450,000 to buy, making it inaccessible to millions of people. But what if we could create a level playing field where, regardless of your financial background or your financial position, you can invest in this property and you could buy a share.
I definitely want the swimming
starting
pool.
from just $1. There you go. That's your share. It's right there for you.
Make sure you give me the swimming pool.
You want the pool?
Everyone wants the pool now.
I got a bit of the pool.
There you go.
I'll share with you.
So we are a fractional investment platform where we allow people to invest in high-yielding Indonesian property, starting from just $1. And we do this in 4 simple steps. Users browse the available properties on our marketplace. Then they select the property they wish to invest in. And then they sit back and watch their monthly returns come in.
And is this only for local Indonesians due to the foreign ownership rules?
It's also for foreigners. So foreigners can legally own real estate in Indonesia. It's just that we make it even more accessible. We have grown our user base by 487% in the
Robert,
last...
just a quick question. So which one comes first? Do you get the user first, or do you get the property first? And if you get the property first, who pays for it first?
So we acquire the property first. and then we sell it in fractions. But one very important thing is that we have struck payment terms with developers across the nation whereby we can actually take ownership of the property, but we pay over 12, 24, or even 36 months.
What is the recourse when you cannot sell that property?
We typically sell out a property in 3 to 4 weeks, whereas we have 36 months to pay for the property. But if this was to happen, we can always renegotiate the terms. We could try and find financing on that property to just fill the gap. Last resort is we actually liquidate the asset and we sell it.
Can we get into your financials, please?
Sure. So we make revenues in a few different ways. The initial one is an upfront cash flow fee, basically, for us, where we take the property value and we increase it by 5%. The second one is an annual AUM fee, which is charged to the users on a yearly basis. In the future, we'll be launching the secondary market, and then people can freely trade and speculate.
What are the net returns to the customer?
This is our historical performance over the last 12 months on our properties. So we have properties not just in Bali, also in Jakarta, because we want to give our users flexibility. Bali is obviously heavily focused on tourism, but also creates a bit more volatility if things don't go well. Whereas Jakarta is a lot more residential. The returns aren't as good as Bali, but it's a lot more stable.
In Indonesia, what's the interest rate that you can get in a bank?
It depends, between 4% and 6%.
Is it sustainable going at this 10%? And then you're competing really hard against just people putting their money in the bank with zero risk.
What we learned from our users is they expect at least a 1% to 2% uptake. So we're looking at a minimum of about 7% to 8%. As we grow, I do expect our returns to slowly come down. As we scale, we become much more powerful in the acquisition side, and I can give even better returns to my users. And remember, today, less than 5% of Indonesia's population is investing, going to show the sheer potential that this business model has.
Does your model take into account leverage?
Great. I forgot about this one. All our properties are non-leveraged because we don't have to, because we have these favorable payment terms with our developers.
If you are into real estate, you don't take leverage, the returns are not going to stack up nicely for investors.
I would argue slightly different. I mean, look at the returns that we've consistently delivered, right? This is rental yield only, yeah, and distributed monthly. The way I look at the platform is we're a passive income platform. Users come to us for that monthly cash flow.
How much are you looking to raise and how much equity are you willing to give up?
So we're looking to raise $1 million, which will allow us to increase our AUM, assets under management, to $12 million by securing another 150,000 users from Indonesia and abroad. And we're looking to raise this at a $9 million valuation cap through a SAFE.
That's roughly $80 per user. Is that business model correct? Because that's a lot of users for very little money per user.
We've now surpassed 35,000 users, actually. We are looking to attract more foreign users.
How do you get that to 1 million investors?
An interesting point is actually that 60% of our users come from referrals.
Will referrals really scale to the level you need to?
My co-founder previously onboarded over 2.4 million users across gaming and fintech. The vast majority of these users came from referrals, which is a very powerful tool in Indonesia and abroad, actually.
All right. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have a good feeling about this?
It was a lot of questions, but I think I was able to answer them well.
Fantastic. I hope you power through to the final stage. I'll see you soon.
Great. Thank you. I don't think I could have done anything better. Getting a share of the $1 million funding actually means a lot to us as a company because it allows us to make more impact and let more users get exposure to real estate.
How do you go?
I think it went well. They definitely asked a lot more questions, but there's a lot more of a conversation style instead of just a single pitch. Be prepared for that. I feel confident about making it into the finale. We have a very strong business model and a lot of traction, so I feel confident that the judges will agree on this.
I think the key moat to his business is in the relationship with developers. But real estate is very cyclical. When he commits to that huge number of properties, and if he cannot sell it, I'm still very unsure of how he's going to manage that risk.
I think he's showing good returns. He's got a good team on board.
He had good grasp on the numbers.
There is a ripe market for fractional ownership, so very interesting business for sure.
Great idea led by great team.
People that can execute the idea rather than just dreaming about the idea.
Whether they have the vision to execute and to inspire and lead a team,
as well as the operational capabilities.
The caliber of the founding team is also super important. And if there's trust and chemistry between the founding members of the business, then it's much easier to execute against a big idea.
People who love the energy of being part of a small group of people who are trying to really change the way a market behaves.
For me, it's always people. The people are the ones who come up with ideas.
Everything starts with the founders. You always want to have a fantastic team, fantastic individuals. Ideally, they have a personal touch point with the problem they're solving.
If it is early stage, it's more on the founders and the ability of the team. When it's growth stage, it's about the business and the founders.
Back on the Big Spark, one final startup awaits his moment in the spotlight. The judges will then deliberate and decide which 4 to 8 startups will qualify for the final big pitch.
Cellivate is more than just a company to me. It's not just about making a living, it's also about making a difference on this planet we are on.
Our goal at Cellivate is to enable the reduction of animal husbandry. We need to expand our production because we are not able to meet the demands of our customers.
I do think that you do need to bring in a strong commercial leader into your team, a good finance person as well.
It might be a better idea for you to focus on 1 to 2 industries.
We'd like to take you into the next deliberation cycle. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to address all of their concerns in today's in-depth pitch. I hope that apart from the passion, they do see this as a viable business with good returns on investment. Hello, everyone. So my name is Vignesh. I'm the founder and CEO of Cellivate Technologies. And our goal really is to enable the reduction of animal husbandry. That is, the raising and slaughtering of animals for different purposes. Many of the processes are extremely unethical and unsustainable, especially with increase in population. The good news is animals are fundamentally made of cells, right? So it's actually possible to use cells to derive many of these products that otherwise need animal slaughter. That is where Cellivate comes in. We have a platform of different technologies that enable our customers to grow cells at a lower cost, to scale these cell culture for numerous applications, and we use only plant-based or cell-based components without going back to the animal for any part of the process. We have a technology to grow in 3D, and then we have technology for making the media. So initially, we have a surface in the form of Petri dishes that allow us to select the cells that we grow, right? Then when we want to scale it to a large number, we have plant-based or organic microcarriers that don't have polymers or any kind of hazardous materials for scaling up cell growth.
Why are you so personally invested in this along with your team?
I am a strong advocate against the unethical treatment of animals. Now I have the opportunity to use my scientific training to make a difference. That's the reason I'm doing this.
What did you study?
I studied biomedical engineering, and that's what I was working on, using engineering methods to grow these cells. And
Were you a good student?
I'm not sure. The fact that I'm still here using my science, I think I'm a good student.
Pretty good, yeah.
Could you tell us a bit about your team? Is there a slide on that?
So myself and my professor at that time, when I was a postdoctoral scientist, we co-founded Cellivate, but since then he plays more of an advisory role. Dr. Srinivas is formerly from A-Star, and Jolene is actually one of our investors. I've convinced her to come on board to help me lead the business and the finance part of things.
Who are you selling to?
Our focus is on the skincare space, especially after our discussions, because that's the industry that's really generating the revenue we have, and then we will expand into the other markets.
What does success look like to you?
Naturally, there will be a reduction in unsustainable or unethical practices. We want to be the Cellivate inside within numerous industries, from skincare to meat to also pharma.
What's the USP of your product compared to something else?
First is cost, because our cost for something similar in the market is significantly lower, which is why
Can you share the numbers with us? Like what kind of cost differences?
Yeah, sure. So for 100 grams of, let's say, microcarriers, which our present customer is buying, it would cost between $1,200 and $1,500 today in the market. We charge $550.
Second is performance, because our performance are not inferior, in some cases superior, to the pharma-grade microcarriers. And thirdly, it's ESG.
What proof points do you have, either from your customers or anywhere else, that your product indeed does reduce costs and increase performance?
So firstly is the repeated orders, right? Secondly, this particular customer has openly stated that they can validate this with any investor who wants to speak with them. And so that's an open invitation that they have given me.
Well-known brand?
It's a Singaporean stem cell brand.
So I've heard a lot about the pros. Any issues that you think might arise from using your enablers?
Specifically for this product, no. Right? Really? Because, I mean, I could eat this and I should be fine. We are looking to raise 3.3 million in total for our seed round. But for this big spark, we are looking to raise $350,000. With this, we are able to secure our lab and the key personnel to firstly service the orders we have. And secondly, it allows us to unlock co-investments. Some of our previous investors have said that if you have a lead, they would come in too.
How many % of the company will you be giving us for the 350,000?
I'm looking at 2.5%.
And Vignesh, do we have an insight into the financials, forecasts?
I've changed the financials to just focus on skincare. We project by the time we are through the second year, we would start the next vertical coming in. We project our revenues going up from there.
So 16 million in revenue on the third year.
In third year, yes.
And profitable EBITDA-wise on the second year.
That's right.
I would like to really thank you for taking all of our suggestions into consideration.
Definitely.
This is a big improvement from your first pitch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From the judges' reactions, what do you think are your chances?
I think I did pretty well. All the judges, everyone is smiling. Everyone is excited. They seem to be in tune with what I'm doing. So I think that was a positive sign.
All the best to you. I hope that you will be one of the 4 to 8 to make it to the final stage.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.
See you.
Yeah, he's a likable guy. He takes on feedback. But I still think what he's going after is incredibly tough.
I would say he would need to build a commercial team, which he started on, and that is really important.
Viable product is there. Customers are buying. He's thinking in the right direction.
Yeah.
His cost is a fraction of what's available in the market. I love it. I definitely would invest if you're going to ask that question. I definitely would.
This $350,000 that we are hoping to raise is important to us, and I'm hoping we can get it.
It's decision time. Resident judges are now joined by our venture capitalists to discuss which 4 to 8 startups will stand a chance for the final big pitch. Welcome back to The Big Spark. Our resident judges are joined by 7 of the 8 venture capitalists to weigh in on the startups before they make their decision on who proceeds to the final big pitch.
Welcome, venture capitalists, to The Big Spark. We're so excited to have you here with us today.
Today we will be going through some of the companies to get some of the comments from you. Let's get started. The first company, Alterverse.
We have our roots in geospatial technology. We're a spin-off from a family business. And we have managed to marry the geospatial technology with gaming technology.
So we are enabling a new way of shopping.
Did anyone like anything about them?
Quality of founders.
Quality of founders?
Yeah.
I've seen similar companies who do digital twins for real estate, so I don't think their commercial angle to charge a good price for it is really there.
Yeah, I would really like to understand the solution better and also how they plan to differentiate.
Next on the list, we have Cable.
So we charge employees a $10 per match. Our forecasted revenue per annum based on the 30% market share will be about 70 million USD.
30% in how long?
Maybe 5 years.
The pricing you start with is the pricing you die with. Monetization-wise, very weak. Likely not going to bring out large outcomes from a venture standpoint.
But in terms of freshness to the same problem statement is where I see some silver lining, and I really still want to hear them. Yeah.
Far Life Plus.
We present our medicated oral film that is easy to take and quick to give.
Our business model involves supplying premix powders and also involves the manufacturing and sales of finished films.
I think it's a genuine need, and I think if they can solve it in the right way, it's very, very commercially viable.
Whether there are any regulatory challenges around this business till the time they commercialize. So that's one aspect which I would like to get into more.
Ether, IoT.
Using IoT sensors to instantly know the location of their assets and people, and condition monitoring.
What we have is a marketplace of all kinds of devices that the system integrators will be able to use.
It's good to like a founder with a 9-figure exit, so always a positive thing this early.
100%. These guys have created is a full solution that meets the market.
They are claiming that it will go substantially high, but the margins at this point of time look very low.
The next company we have is Palmio.
We are here to redefine the Asia food supply chain with AI. We charge based on the connection point, and we are doing supply chain financing. Buy now, pay later solution for B2B.
Solving that gap in a verticalized manner is, I think, the next fintech way to go.
So this is a business which can also expand to multiple geographies, automation of supply chain and financing in that segment.
Datality Lab.
How nice if we have a platform that enable everyone be able to practice communication skills. In the first 6 months, we got 3 clients with about $0.25 million US.
The number that they're showing in terms of traction and revenue, I think that's really impressive.
I'm not a fan. I don't think it's a competitive landscape where you can really make a big mark anymore.
Equal.
We offer the most variety of sustainable materials of any brand in the world. We are priced premium to a lot of our competitors. A lot of our costs go into the fact that we obtain these certifications, which are wildly more expensive.
There's not a huge barrier to entry here.
Starting now, you're probably too late in this space, so I think this is going to be difficult.
We have Tiny Pot.
I'm going to be taking shipping containers as well as MRT trains and converting it into really tiny rooms. I call it tiny pots. And then after that, I want to franchise this to the world.
So I saw this, and I just wondered, why do this? Who's the customer? I keep asking this question of, is it a gimmick? Is it for someone to actually live there permanently? That wasn't obvious to me.
And if I look at the future valuation curve on this, I can't see it getting to a level where I think any of us would potentially invest.
I feel like the demand side is absolutely zero on Tiny Pot, which was a huge red flag.
I think we're ready to move on to Bixi.
So the solution we created at Bixi is an AI-powered app tailored with the very unique way that women behave with money.
Over time, we're able to then take this data and then create our proprietary financial products.
I really love the mission, the story, the purpose of the founders. So I'm quite curious to look at how they can embed micro-financial services in this.
The mode to just focus on this area is not sufficient enough for me.
Tenang AI.
Since we launched in March 2023, we already serve and help 25,000 Gen Zs and millennials all around Indonesia.
We work alongside with a team of psychologists to ensure that the feedback is always similar to psychologists.
Mental health in general is quite full of different players. We want someone to succeed, but it's very difficult to actually find a commercially viable proposition for a VC to invest in.
The basic fundamental, I think there's too many doubts on this company.
Next, we have Mula X.
The genesis of Mula is to use money to give a new start to the user group and the customer group that we want to focus on. We have 4 people in the founding team. My background is president and CEO of Standard Chartered Bank Thailand.
Very senior, experienced team who can bring an unfair advantage to the table. The only concern I have is that earned wage access is quite well penetrated already.
Very early to say whether they'll be profitable or not, but let's say if they reach a certain level, it's an interesting play.
Snap Robotics.
Introducing the world's most economical robotic hand. 90% of the soft gripper companies are based on pressurized air actuation. Our solution is based on vacuum. That's what makes it more durable.
It's fascinating to see where the robots are moving to in this area. So I think this definitely has some promise.
Very, very tough market, yeah. There's too many people who have some small, very unique innovation with within the same space, yeah.
ArkoPay.
So we are the first platform in Indonesia who provide a holistic financial tool and a closed-loop financing for construction value chain.
It's exciting to see females conquer such a male-dominated space.
Yes.
I'm really excited to see that. Construction industry, you see big ticket sizes. So we're not looking at like the small loans. So that one will be quite interesting.
Very excited to meet ArkoPay because B2B commerce construction hasn't really scaled in the same way. And I think leading with credit is a great go-to-market.
Goro.
So we are a fractional investment platform where we have properties not just in Bali, also in Jakarta, because we want to give our users flexibility.
It could be a good company to invest in, but like a typical VC, I think there's still so many questions to be answered.
So you're end of the day very soon competing with all the American giants in this space, also the European ones. So that's my main challenge.
Cellivate Tech.
I am a strong advocate against the unethical treatment of animals. Now I have the opportunity to use my scientific training to make a difference, to use cells to derive many of these products that otherwise need animal slaughter.
This is one of those companies, like a few others we've seen so far, where it's very clear why the founder wants to do this. So the motivation is very, very strong.
I'm curious to see how they want to allocate their resources. They're only raising 300K, and I don't think that's enough.
Thank you all so much for joining us today and giving us extra input. We've got a big job ahead of us to deliberate, and we can't wait to see you all at the finals.
Great.
The VCs, they clearly have some of their own favorites. We've got our work cut out for us.
We have to choose 4 to 8 out of 15. That means to eliminate half of them.
Going to be really, really difficult to do this. I've got so many favorites, and so do you.
Yeah.
With input from the VCs in mind, our resident judges will now have to select the startups going through to the final big pitch. It will not be an easy decision.
Everybody who's made it this far is pretty strong. Honestly, I think it's going to be really hard to decide who are the next groups going forward.
Suspense level is high because we are not even sure how many teams are going in, but I see that I have good chances.
I don't want to let anyone down. Well, let's just hope and pray we both get through.
Exactly.
I'm hoping that I will get a chance to bid for that 1 million pot that's out there.
This is quiet. Nervous?
Yeah, it is.
Go to the grand finale, yes!
We have come to the end of stage 2, and the judges have made their decisions. I know you're nervous and also anxious for the results, so I'm going to get down to it. ArkoPay. Far Life Plus. Cellivate Technologies. Snap Robotics. Tenang AI. Congratulations, you're on to the final big pitch.
This moment is very emotional because I've retired, so this is like beyond my dreams. Just one more pitch and we can make it. We'll do our best.
Yeah.
For some of you leaving us today, the good news is that to get to this stage, there's clearly something that we see in you.
I know today's a hard day, but tomorrow, it's day 1 all over again.
Best of luck. Thank you.
It was tough competition, but I think I did my best, and hopefully, Vietnam, you are proud.
I'm obviously disappointed that I didn't make it into the final pitch, but there's definitely a lot of learnings that I'll use in the future of my business.
We've made it to this international stage, and I'm also grateful for this opportunity that Big Spark gave us. We're still gonna do our best and continue with our mission. Absolutely.
Next week on The Big Spark, it's the big pitch. Our 5 finalists will take their best shot at impressing a panel of 8 venture capitalists.
We provide flexible financing options.
How do you see your company in next 3 years?
Why isn't anyone else doing this?
It's really a no-brainer, right?
Who will take home a share of the $1 million funding?
We want to commit 100K.
500,000.
Wow.